House Speaker John Boehner has had a lot to live up to, and it appears he's standing strong. In a recent speech, he took the concept of raising the debt ceiling head on.
Let me be as clear as I can be. Without significant spending cuts and changes in the way we spend the American people's money, there will be no increase in the debt limit.
This is exactly what the American people have been waiting to hear from somebody, some leader in Washington. And now House Speaker John Boehner has thrown the gauntlet down. And he's saying no debt ceiling increase. Right now it's $14.294 trillion without offsetting budget cuts and serious reforms to the budget process so that we don't have to keep on increasing the debt ceiling year on end.
Boehner also notes that the cuts should be a little more legitimate than what some leaders have tried to pull off.
And the cuts should be greater than the accompanying increase in the debt limit that the president has given. We're not talking about billions here. We should be talking about cuts in trillions if we're serious about addressing America's fiscal problems.
Speaker Boehner, again, has it absolutely right. The budget cuts and the reforms needed need to more than offset the increase in the debt ceiling, which may only be for a few months or perhaps for a year. Americans for Limited Government has recommended an increase to the end of this fiscal year, and that ought to accompany really broad spending cuts, about $500 billion worth for this year alone, in exchange for increasing the debt ceiling. Now, it remains to be seen how far the House will go with their proposal, but clearly Speaker Boehner is setting the bar really high with saying that we need trillions of dollars in cuts and not just billions.
If you don't believe that some major cuts have to be made, maybe you'll believe it from an organization such as Standard & Poor's.
Without changing Medicare, with millions of baby boomers about to retire, the status quo is unsustainable. And if we don't act boldly now, the markets will act for us very soon, which I think was the message from Standard & Poor's several weeks ago.
Of course, the left tends to break out the idea of raising taxes when we fall into debt. Boehner does not support this idea.
A tax hike would wreak havoc, not only on our nation's economy and its ability to create private sector jobs, but also on our ability to tackle the national debt.
Increasing taxes to try to balance the budget, it would be a foolish gamble. Right now, into the teeth of this recession, increasing taxes will make it less likely for the economy to grow, which is what is needed in order to help bring the budget into balance. Speaker Boehner laid out two conditions there. One was that it needs to be big spending cuts attached to the debt ceiling increase, and the other is that the economy must grow to help the budget be balanced. And the economy is not going to grow if we're going to raise taxes to help pay for government's unbridled spending. Just the spending cuts and pro-growth tax policies, that means tax cuts, that means not raising taxes.
Reporting from Washington, Frank McCaffrey.